2012 question 2. A small amount of a powder dissolves in water to form a clear solution. When the solution is mixed with potassium carbonate solution, a white precipitate is formed. So what is the powder? So here, first off, we're given four options, and let's assume that all of them are in powder form. And after putting it in water, so we've added water to all of these powder, it will form a clear solution. So first off, we will need to know the concept of which ones of these are soluble salts. So you learned this in book 2A, acids and alkalis. So soluble salts. And as I told you before, you don't need to memorize all the soluble salts. You have a mnemonic to memorize, and if you watch Harry Potter, it definitely helps you. So as I said, it's Professor Snape. So Snape. The S stands for sodium. So all sodium containing salts, they are soluble. N stands for nitrates. Yep, this is nitrates. A stands for ammonium salts. P stands for potassium salts. And E stands for ethanoic salts. So all of them would be soluble, so they can dissolve in water. And here, let's look at the options. So option A, sodium sulfate, sorry. So sodium here, because it's a soluble salt, so definitely it will form a clear solution. So our main point here is to form a clear solution. It will. How about B, calcium sulfate? And one of the exceptions that you have learned is that calcium sulfate here, it's a insoluble salt. So even if you add water to it, it will not form a clear solution, rather it will be cloudy. So definitely this is wrong. And sodium hydroxide, yep, that is a soluble salt. And calcium hydroxide, now this one is another tricky one. This is what we call slightly soluble. So you'll learn this in book 2A, acids and base, and also for those of you that are taking the elective book 8, analytical chemistry, you will also learn this. This is kind of soluble. If you have a small amount of it, like it is in this question, you have a small amount of this powder, then yes, it will be forming a clear solution because you have a small amount of it. Okay, so from the first statement, we have already excluded one option, which is B. That is not correct. Now let's continue. And when the solution is mixed with potassium carbonate, a white precipitate is formed. So we're mixing the other three with potassium carbonate. So which one will form a white precipitate? And here, as we can see, even though you mix, since you have sodium here, and the other one, you can see that there is potassium here. So no matter what salt is formed, you will either have sodium ion present or potassium ion present there. So there's definitely no way that a white precipitate could be formed with A and C. The answer would then be D. And I'll write the equation for you so that you can actually refer to it at the same time. So calcium hydroxide, CaOH2, you reacted with potassium carbonate, which is K2CO3. Okay, and then you'll form calcium carbonate. And what else is formed? Here, let me cross this bit out so it's easier to see. And here you'll form potassium hydroxide. Now, where's the white precipitate coming from? It's because of this calcium carbonate here. Calcium carbonate, as we know, it is limestone, of course, and it's solid. So that is why this white precipitate is formed. Hence why the answer is D.